Hey guys, we are looking at another very interesting item today. This is a pair of what are called French hairbrush grenades, and these were actually used in the early days of World War I before the French army could find sort of stocks of regular grenades and sort of rearm themselves after their initial horrific losses in 1914. So these are extremely primitive forms of stick grenades, a lot like potato mashers from Germany that a lot of you are familiar with. These are about as basic as you can get, and they were in fact issued quite regularly to the French army. Unfortunately, very, very few have survived, and certainly not in the condition that these are in, which are relatively complete. So the way these things worked, here's your wood block, which is real convenient. And right here, you have a pin. So you would pull this pin out, and then you would insert it into this hole right here, and that would arm your grenade. And then what you would do is you would take the grenade and you'd smack it against any convenient hard surface. And that would actually actuate a detonator. There's a metal plate underneath this wood block, and that would actuate the detonator, and then that would send the fuse down into your explosive filled tube, which is right here. And obviously this one no longer filled with explosives, so it's perfectly inert and safe to handle. And then your grenade would be ready to go, and you would throw it at the enemy and I guess hope for the best. This is just the construction is literally just a crude piece of unfinished wood, and your explosive tube is really just a piece of pipe held on here with really thick wire, well wrapped. And then, I guess for convenience sake, they even give you a little hanger here so you can hang it from your belt. And it's just a little wire hanger. And again, the wood block here is held on with the same kind of heavy gauge wire. And there's one example of one, and the other example that we came across is pretty much the same. It's just as primitive. This one is wrapped a little bit differently, as you can see. This one's got kind of a different wrapping of the wire. This one's more even and symmetrical, a little bit heavier gauge wire, I guess. And also this one, the handle is a little bit longer. And if you look on the underside, you'll notice the hook to hold it to your belt is a little bit different as well. But all in all, a very interesting grenade, certainly not something that you see with any frequency, because the vast majority obviously were expended during the war, did not survive the war. I mean, these things are generally just going to fall apart, and really, who wanted them once you got better grenades? But from all accounts, they worked, they were effective, they were, liked within reason by French soldiers. And to actually find a couple examples that are still around today and as intact as these are is pretty stunning, frankly. And we just thought we'd share it with you and let you take a look at something that not a lot of people get a chance to look at. And it's just another shot of that tube. And again, those are empty, thankfully. Don't know that I'd want to deal with explosive that's over 100 years old and stored God knows how. But just a very, very interesting example of a grenade. We'll be looking at more interesting grenades in the upcoming days. And hope you enjoy the channel. Hit like and subscribe. Watch our other stuff, and we'll be back. Thanks a lot.